Hey guys, B8KD here. I am currently on the test server. I'm just messing around with the Hound 3. I'm going to try out 4 different weapon types on the Hound here. I'm going to equip it a few different ways, and I'm going to show you how I fit it. I'm not sure if this is going to change before the final release of this Tech 10 Hound 3 ship. But if you just look through the additions, the Hound 3 and I think the Hound 2 all have 4 high slots now, or 4 weapon slots, 3 mids, 3 lows, 3 rigs. So they added an extra weapon slot to these to try to improve the DPS a little bit. Technically, they needed a explosion radius, buff, so the missiles actually could apply. Even with target painters and webs, these can't hit jack shit unless they're like a large battleship. But if you see here, the roll bonus, these are built for large torpedoes only. We have a 50% cloaking device reactivation delay, a negative 100% cloaking device lock delay. Down below, we have some pretty hefty bonuses. These are pretty hard to get, 5 out of 5. They take quite a bit of time to train. So I am only, I think, 5-4 in all these skills, and then 5-5-4 in expert frigate command bonus. But this gives these missiles just a crap load of DPS, EM damage, and flight velocity. If we scroll down, you can look through like the capacitor and power grid and stuff. These actually have a fairly good power grid when you are 5-5-4 in engineering. These things really aren't meant to tank, but if we just look how we have her fit, we have 4 Hurricane large torpedo launchers. The explosion radius is 309 because I did pop one explosion radius bonus there. That just helps apply damage just slightly better. But honestly, you can't really tell much of a difference. So you can go with some tank or even another like activation time. So you can lob more of these off. I think the activation time works very well on these because they take so long to shoot. So at least 1 damage and 2 activation times if you want to go all out DPS. Now, if you're going to be long range shooting these, I would not have 2 webs. I would have 2 or 3 painters on, just so you can kind of paint somebody up. I would probably pop like a small group shield booster on here just in case you take a little bit of damage. You can't fit really anything bigger than that now. They changed the meta levels of the group shield boosters. But yeah, I would probably go 2 painters. See if I have another painter. Nope. I'm going to try this up close and webbed and see if we can get anything. But I would go 2 painters, potentially a web, disruptor, group shield booster, kind of whatever you want there. Down below, I was able to fit a medium shield booster on this baby. You can dual prop this, but I'm going to leave the medium on there because I'm going to be tanking rats. A ballistic control system for the added DPS, and a ranger small afterburner. This is the first fit I'm going to go and test out. The rigs are all going to be the same. I did 3 tier 3 velocities, which these can easily be T1 velocities. They give quite a good bonus with 3 of them paired up. I just didn't have any. All they gave you was tier 3s on here. Explosion radius bonus. Decrease the signature radius factor for the missiles to hit. And then activation time and a damage. So let's just undock. I'll try out a micro warp drive in my next build. We'll just try the afterburner for now because I'm going to try to speed tank. Okay, let's get these all stacked up. So an afterburner, and that's we're actually going extremely quick. So we are going 2,200 meters a second, which is actually very comfortable for speed tanking. DPS wise, we are at almost 900 DPS. That's going to be substantially lower because you don't really want to fit a Hound 3 out with tier 3 rigs. Even tier 4 for that matter, I'd probably go at least T1 or T2. So you'd probably be sitting around 800 DPS. Yeah, let's just take this into Anomaly and see how she performs. Alright, we're just heading into a T6 medium Anomaly. Now, if we check our weapon range on these, we are at 18 kilometers. And in our bombard mode, we are at around 50 kilometers, which isn't too bad. If we put some range rigs on there, I think we can get it up to about 70 or 75. So I'm taking some damage already. Let's just see in bombard mode. With one painter, doing about 600 damage to a cruiser, so that's not too entirely bad. So let's just take off our large shield booster. And let's orbit now. See if it does any different damage. 2100. Let's pop both webs on there. 3300. So we are effectively speed tanking. Now, without any polycarbon rigs, the orbit's not the best. 2200. Let's go ahead and speed this up. Oop. I'm an idiot. I webbed the wrong person. Okay, let's go ahead and try this gentleman now. Wow. I feel like you can clear rats pretty well on this. Okay, let's turn all this off. Lob one more into him. Yep, went down to about 1,000. So the double web and painter works great for ratting. Let's go ahead and lob one into that. So the medium shield booster seems to be pretty effective. You can even stick a Nosferatu on there just to kind of keep you topped up. Let's try shooting a destroyer. 2200. Wow, that's actually pretty good for these large torpedoes. I feel like you can rat pretty comfortably in this thing. Completely full, speed tanking. We're looking good. Okay, let's see if we have a station. We do not. I'll be back in just 1 second with a slightly different build. Now, another build we have. Everybody likes putting small missiles on your Hound 3. 1 discipline, 3 Pythes. We're only at 235 DPS. The webs and the painter honestly have no use here. Let's go ahead and just pop our micro warp drive. Let's just see how fast we go. 4,600 meters a second. I'd expect to go around 4,000 to be honest, because you're not going to have all tier 3 rigs. That's pretty comparable, around 4,000 with the micro warp drive. Oops. I didn't have an afterburner on, so I'm going to get shredded here, but let's just actually doesn't hit too bad. 1,700 a volley. Let's pop this. shoot this baby. Did we miss it? Yeah, 1800. So I'd expect around 1600 volleys. Probably maybe 1600 with smaller guns. Potentially no ballistic control system. Yeah, I don't think my hits are registering correctly, but let's just kind of micro warp drive out. We're actually going pretty fast without a micro warp drive. 900 meters a second. Alright, let's just see. What's our range on these? 19 kilometers. And if we pop this, we are at 51 kilometer range. So let's just kind of get right into the 40 there. Okay. So we got a painter on him. Pop our ballistic. Okay, did we not hit it? $1,300 a volley. That's actually not too bad from 50 kilometers away. It's a pretty good support ship, to say the least. 1,600. Alright, let's start getting out of here. I have just one more fit I'm going to try out on this, and yeah. Now, this one is about the same DPS as the small missiles. These are your small torpedo launchers. We are sitting at 7 kilometers. Let's just go see if we can shred anything with these. In most cases, you guys have to remember you're going to have a cloaking device in one of these bottom slots, potentially for your propulsion system, or you swap the ballistic control for one, or even the shield, depending how you're building this ship. But yeah, let's take this right back out. Alright, so there's actually a module error. So we're at 307 DPS, which is actually pretty good. This could be like a retriever hunting build. You'd put like 3 scrams in these slots, and you'd stealth in, you'd take off your prop, and you'd stealth into like a retriever, procure or something, and just start unloading on it. Let's just go ahead and orbit this guy. Target paint, web him. Okay, and with our ballistic, we're at 389 DPS. Whew, look how fast that's popping off. Completely shredding. Let's use this. So that was supposed to give us a damage increase. I thought with the small missiles, the explosion radius would be just fine, but I don't think you'd use that unless you have a big hauling ship you're trying to hit and you want to just unload on it. So yeah, 477 a volley. Let's go ahead and just pop this on. Yeah, it does 20% more damage just about. So in most cases, if you're not going to have a painter and 2 webs, though, is a thing. But you'd probably do 3 scrams. You hit off a procure, and hopefully they don't have their ship stabbed to crap. But yeah, that's that build for you. Let's get out of here before we die. Alright, so this is my last and final build. This may be practical if you're bombing a citadel. Now, My power grid is 100% maxed out. Let's just go over it real quick. I have 3 Mark V medium missile launchers. We are at 44 kilometers before bombing mode. I have 1 target painter on. I have my cloaking device to get into position and a ballistic control system. Now, in this slot here, you can pop a damage control, but I'm not going to do that. I am going to pop a second painter on here, just because I can. Rig slots, I went all range on this one. So I went flight velocity, and flight time bonus. Pretty much that's the best way. You can do another flight time bonus if you want, but that's how you get maximum range on these. And then 3 power grid 3 rigs on there. Now this isn't going to be in the line of duty, so as long as you don't get popped at 100 kilometers or one banged or something, you should be good. But let's just go ahead and undock and see how far this thing can shoot, and shoot a few things. Okay, so what I'm doing is warping in at 100 kilometers, stealthed. You want to position yourself with this build. I can just go ahead and activate my bomber mode right now. 200% flight time or flight bonus. Now, the moment of truth. We are getting 116 kilometer range on these Mark V missiles. That is pretty juicy, if I don't say so myself. Now, in terms, if you're going to be fitting a Hound III this expensive, I would probably skip a painter and put a damage control on there. Nothing is going to be disrupting you, but that damage control is going to allow you to warp out safely and stealth and come back, etc. On typical painters, most people are skilled 4-4 in those. I'm going 5-5-3 on this, and that gives you about 110, 120 kilometer range before they completely fall off. So they're not too effective at 100 kilometers, but let's just go approach them to 100. Guess I could take that off for a second. So they are going to be doing a little bit of work, but not much at this range. Alright, so let's unstealth. Bomber mode active. And we actually lock fairly quick, to be honest, even with the cloaking lag or whatever you want to call it. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop this. We are at 205 DPS. Alright, let's lob them from downtown. I got 2 going off before even 1 hit. Okay, not the best DPS in the world, but I'm hitting something at 100 kilometers in a Hound. It's just pretty intense. If it's a big ship, I imagine it's going to do a buttload of damage. Let's just try a catalyst, just for heaven's sake. Okay. Ooh, these missiles take forever to hit. 358 damage. Not the most in the world. Let's go ahead and approach to 35. Okay, we are back at 44 kilometers. So let's just try to lob one without the bomber mode on. There's not too many cases you want to come this close, especially with that expensive of rigs on there, but just for testing purposes. Okay, let's go ahead and do ballistic and pop that. Go ahead and stop right there. So the painters are much more effective, 1,000 damage. It's not too bad. I'm gonna go try to find the citadel really quick and see if I can blap it. If not, this will probably be the end of the video. We shall see. Well, I am in position. I'm going to uncloak, like insta-locks that. Bomber mode, 2 painters. So you can't use painters on outposts apparently. Let's go ahead and just pop this off now. Wait for the hits to start coming in. 1400 volley, not too bad. Probably take an extremely long time, but technically you could shoot this from back here and be completely safe. Can even go to 110 kilometers if I wanted and just lob them off. Just warp out, stealth back, and keep on doing it. You can rag people in citadels. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Of course, all of these builds are just prototype builds. They're not actually how you should build the ship. I'm just kind of testing on what you can get away with and potential options. So you guys can think about a weapon fit, and then also you can think about your mid slots and low slots, what you're going to be doing in your hounds, and go from there. If we just look in the market really quick though, under our hounds, so the Hound 2, they did give it a extra high slot, which is awesome, and the power grid is 67, and the power grid on the Hound 3 out of the box is 70. So if you have 555 frigate engineering, you can pretty much do the same thing on the already released Hound 2, and it's much cheaper. You just might not get as much DPS or flight velocity or even tank than the Hound 3. So they're not too far off from each other. So whatever I did in this video, you can kind of copy on the Hound 2 and try out if you want. The other build I had, but the Mark V missiles that I have to get are way too far away. But you can get 4, let's just see, 4 medium Mark V rapid missile launchers equipped on here. They're at 16 kilometers, and I think on bomber mode they're 40 to 60 kilometers, which is fairly viable. The DPS is much better than this, I think. I think it goes up to around 200-ish DPS and like 250 with the ballistic going off. So that's a potential another build as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I will see you on the next video. Peace out.